Morning campers, it's me Sandra. It would be remiss of me not to discuss cold water shock, and I'm going to do it as briefly as I can. I'll tell you very quickly about an experience that I had personally as a paddleboarder. I am a member, well, I'm an ambassador to the RNLI, and I try and disseminate information when they pass it on to me. This information that I'm passing on is purely from me, not from them. But it really saddens me that what I've read this week is that we've had 7 deaths. Potentially they could have been down to cold water shock, and they are avoidable if we know what we're doing. You know, information is really, really powerful. So I'm guessing that most of you are adults on here, but if you have got kids or you know kids, please do pass this on and just share, because the more we get to learn about cold water shock, the more we can prevent our teenagers and youngsters, and even people my age, from dying from this, which is preventable. So what is cold water shock? Well, when you enter the water, if it's below, I think, about 16 degrees or thereabouts, your body can just go into shock. And don't just think this can happen in, winter. It tends to always happen in the summer months, when more people tend to go in the water and have no idea about what can happen to them. So basically your body shuts down for anywhere between 60 to 90 seconds. We keep getting this message out, float to live, and literally that's what we need to do, is just float on our backs. Our lungs, if we inflate them, it's almost like having a flotation device. Get the air into your lungs, hold that breath for as long as you can, let it out, get it back in there, hold it. That's all we need to do. We possibly can't talk when this happens to us, and what we tend to do is we start flailing our arms and legs around because we're trying to survive, and basically what we're doing is filling our lungs up with water, which potentially, well, ultimately can lead to our lungs filling up and we drown, and that's what we need to prevent. It's a horrible thing when it happens, and this is what happened to me. So I was paddleboarding in November, and the wind was at our back, and it really shunted us a lot faster than we thought it had, so it took a lot longer to get back. So we were paddleboarding in the dark. We did have all of the right safety equipment on. We had our torches on our heads, which lit up the entire river. The river wasn't flowing fast, but the person behind me shunted me without any warning. I lost my balance and I went into the water. I was wearing at the time, which I thought was the right piece of clothing, I was wearing a wetsuit. I'll come back to that at the end of this video. If anyone's interested, I'll talk to you about wetsuits. But what happened was I just hit the water and my brain just slowed down. I knew what was happening. It was cold water shock. I kind of hit the water and was like but couldn't speak and couldn't move. Now, I just got back from Devon and I'd been to the cinema, and they told me about cold water shock, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Didn't actually know anything about it. So it lasted for just over 60 seconds. My friend kept saying, why can't you move? Why can't you talk? Are you all right? She didn't know what it was, but I did. So I didn't panic, and that's the key. I got on my back and I floated. Float to live. That's what I did. And it did pass. It's just an incredible thing. My body literally then got used to the water, and I was able to move, and I got back on my board, and I just thought, heck, that was cold water shock. That's what I literally got told in the August on holiday, and that video possibly saved my life. If kids know this, it can help them. Do not think that this only happens in winter. I know I've just said it was November, but if you look at the news and you track back, we tend to lose most of these teenagers in the summer months when it's really hot. And a lot of people are going, what's going on? Why are they dying? Potentially this could be the reason. So please pass this video on. Please float to live. Let people know. If you're interested in what happened to me once I got back on the board, then stay on right now and I'll tell you what happened. Inappropriate clothing, which I've now fixed, but yeah, here goes. So as I said, we had the wind at our backs and it took us out We were on the boards about 45 minutes and we went, actually, because we were chatting, I think we've probably come further than we thought and got out a lot faster, which we had, because it literally took us 2 hours to get back in this headwind. That's a big difference. I was wearing a wetsuit, which I thought was absolutely the right thing, that it would keep me warm. But here's the thing, wetsuits keep you warm in the water. But when you're on top of a paddleboard and you've got a headwind and it's freezing cold, you could, and this is what happened to me, you could get hypothermia. And I got this very mildly, I was very lucky, but I got a warm shower. I went to bed with hot water bottles and socks on. My feet never warmed up all through the night and I was shivering, even under my duvet. I mean, I'm saying it's mild. I really don't know what it would feel like if it wasn't mild, but anyway. Yeah, so after that I decided to buy a dry suit and I've never looked back. It's just amazing. So I think the only other thing that I would say is if the kids are going out on the water, they're not going to do it, but really they should be wearing appropriate clothing and they should really have some kind of flotation device. Be really careful, because if it is just a dinghy and they're on rocks and things, that's going to go down. They're then going to hit the water, potentially cold water shock. Always have somebody with you, don't go out alone. I mean, these are common sense things, aren't they? Maybe tell the kids to have a flask of warm drink inside, just in case, some extra warm clothing. You know, if you're out in a really remote location, I've got these thermal like blankets, like silver foil things that you can just wrap around people. If you think that they're suffering from hypothermia or cold water shock, then immediately notify the appropriate services. I'm not going to say who, because I don't know how remote you are or where you are, but obviously dial 999 and ask for the appropriate service. I mean, it could be Mountain Rescue, it could be RNLI, the Coast Guard. I don't know, I'm going to leave that to you. But listen, stay safe, have a lovely, lovely summer, enjoy your camping trips. But please bear in mind that already this year we've lost young children, teenagers that potentially didn't need to lose their lives. Please do pass this video on and let's just work together and do the right thing. Let's just keep them safe, keep ourselves safe and have loads of fun while we're doing this. Hope that's helped. Bye.